up, family, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a resin project again. So you know I've made these different records and Lazy Susan that you've been watching me make, like this one, which I'll link to up above so you can see how I made it. Today I'm going to put the resin on it. You can see that it's really dull in color right now. That's what normally happens as it dries. So it dries dull, and then you put the resin on, and that makes it less susceptible to getting scratched and things like that. It's going to have a hard, durable coating on it. The goal is to create a coating that's perfectly smooth with no welts in it, no divots in it, nothing dropping into it like, you know, fuzz or hair or something like that. So I've prepared my whole environment. I'm ready to go. Let's get started right now. So first up, I'm going to use a little alcohol, like 91% isopropyl alcohol, mixed with some water. I put it in a little hairspray bottle because that makes it spray out a fine mist. And I'm going to clean my item and then not touch it again because you don't want to touch it after you do this. And it's just a quick, mild cleaning. You don't want to leave that on there. You're just trying to get off anything that landed on it, and you're doing the sides. All right, that part's done. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is make sure that it's level. So I'm going to drop a level on there. Oh, that looks just fine. If it wasn't, I'm going to level it because I don't want all the resin to fall off the sides. So you want to make sure your item's level. And then next step we're going to do is put a tape dam on. Now the point of this is to make sure that on your resin piece, I don't want all the resin to flow over immediately. I want to give it time to sort of set up. And then when I pull the tape dam off, I'm going to have it come over in a nice, basically even, thick pattern, which is what you want. So I'm just going to put this on a minute. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Now I've got the Lazy Susan sitting on a Lazy Susan just to make it easier to work with. But you don't have to do that. That's just what I do. And the tape dam doesn't have to be exactly perfect. The goal is just to keep it from basically going over the sides. If a little went over the sides, that's all right. It's going to keep most of it for us. So here we go. Now, if you've watched my other videos, I've shown you how to do this too. I have more videos on this. And if you're new, you might be picking up tips on how to resin. It is a hard thing to master, and I ruined a lot of pieces trying to get this figured out. So don't be surprised if you ruin some too. It happens. I think the biggest thing for me was I was weighing out my resin on a scale rather than measuring it one-to-one. Now I've learned with most resins that I use, you're just going to measure them one-to-one. All right, so everything's set here. All right, let me get my stuff and we'll get going. Did I mention you need a mask? You need a mask when you start the resin mixing. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have the Resiner's resin mixer, bubble remover. I also will be running the Resiner's air filter that makes sure that the quality of the air I'm breathing is fine. I still will wear the mask anyways. I think it's really good to do it just in case. All right, so let's get going. Here we go. It's gonna look beautiful. All right, so one of the ways that I found easiest is I buy these 5.5 ounce cups, and I'm gonna actually put them into this cup. So I'm gonna put part A in one, part B in one, and then pour them into this cup. And that will do usually one Lazy Susan and maybe a record, because I do the records, and then maybe some coasters. But I've got a lot to do, so I'm actually going to do this a couple times. But what I like about these is, you know, I can just fill them up to the top, just under the top. I don't know if maybe I can put that under there. So you can see if there's kind of a line there. I can fill it up just under the top on each one and know that they're the same amounts. Then pour them into the big one and then get it mixing. And that works the best for me. So today we're going to be using mixed media resin. If you follow Mixed Media Girls, she sells this resin on her website. She's amazing, and so is this resin. I really like it. So let me get going here. I'm going to pour out part A and part B. Now remember, when you're pouring these out, not to accidentally do 2 parts of A and then mix that up and pour it on your item because it won't cure. or 2 parts of B, or don't mix up the tops and put them on the wrong jug or you'll seal your jug shut. Ask me how I know. You know how I know. Okay, here we go. All right, so I poured out 2 of part A and 2 of part B because I'm actually going to mix 2 cups of fluid, and I'll be using all that on the projects that I have because I'm doing more than just this. So that's why you saw that. Let me start by mixing them and getting them going in the mixer, in the Resiner's mixer, which I really like, by the way. It was a Christmas present. All right, here I go. I'm going to put my mask on now because I want to keep my mask on while I'm doing that mixing, okay? Because I want to make sure that my health is protected. All right, I'm going to take my mask off for a few minutes because I don't need it on when I'm not exposed. And right now they're in the bubble remover, which there's another term for, but I don't know what it is. Debubbler, bubble remover, I don't know. So I just wanted to show you how that's working. You can really see how white it's becoming. Those are bubbles. And this is the most wonderful machine. It makes life so much simpler. Wow. Now, if they start to come up over the top of the cup, that's when I let some of the air out and start again. Oh, I didn't say this, but resin day is one of my favorite days. Putting the resin on and going through these steps, it looks so spectacular when you're doing it. I know a lot of people don't like doing it, but I like the fun of it. Like, it's a challenge. Can I do it? And by the way, the first pieces that I did were so bad, they didn't even cure all the way. So I really had to learn what I was doing. So watching somebody else do it is such a good thing to do. All right, here we go. done. They're all resined, everything's drying, everything looks great. I'm gonna get out of this room. I've got a machine going showing me that the air's okay to breathe. But still, I'm gonna leave while everything off gases, or I don't know what resin does, but everything looks fantastic. And I'll see you tomorrow when we peel off and see what's underneath. See you later, bye.